licensing presentation is actually one zoning and one licensing. From Modern Pastry. Why don't you introduce yourself?
How you doing? I'm George Dubois. I'm here representing Modern Pastry, Pecorello family, all with me. And we're here to ask your favorable vote and approval of a request to transfer a liquor license from Piccolo Venezia to Modern Pastry, and also to allow a favorable vote on the zoning issue. Right now, the Piccolo Venezia has a variance for a conditional use to use a restaurant, and we want to turn it into a bakery / restaurant, a blended use. As you know, Modern Pastry's been in the North End for quite a few years, operating as a family bakery, which has now been passed on to their children who are here with me. And the zoning code allows a bakery to be used and allows the restaurant to be used. Unfortunately, when you want to try to combine and blend the uses, it's considered a change of a non-conforming use and requires Board of Appeal. As far as the licensing, it's a liquor, malt and wine license, and the concept is to serve liqueurs, have sit down so you can have a cannoli, coffee, and light fare like pizza and calzone. We appeared before the other board on Monday, and they voted unanimous approval for the request. And we're asking you to do the same. We appeared before the zoning subcommittee on November 19th. We submitted the plans, and we have a board date for the liquor board of January 22nd. We just don't have a board date yet for the Board of Appeal. We've applied. Hopefully we'll get that soon. We're here to ask any questions you may have, any concerns you may have. And again, just to reiterate, the Pecorello family's been in the North End for a number of years, and they operate the Modern Pastry. So,
Okay.
Any questions?
Do we have any butters here, first of all? No? Okay.
We have letters from the abutters. I'd like to read this. It's from Bill Bellagio. I'm writing to support you. I'm writing to you in support of my neighbor John Pecorello of Modern Pastry Shop, 257 Hanover Street. I am the owner of the building at 230-232 Hanover Street, and I've been a neighbor to Modern Pastry for nearly 20 years. John and his family have been model business owners and great neighbors to us and to the entire neighborhood. They are responsible, kind, hardworking family. We see their expansion as an important improvement to our neighborhood. For any further questions, please do not hesitate to contact me, Khalid Mayojadeen. Now, I just want to reiterate one other point. The reason Modern is doing is that, as you know, it's a popular place. It competes with Mike's Pastry, and they're trying to lessen the traffic congestion on the sidewalks, because typically in the busy season, even all year round, you have a line outside the door waiting to get in. So as you may or may not know, Piccolo Venezia is a very big space, and it would allow more people to be inside versus outside. They're also going to maintain the existing bakery they have, Modern, which is right next door. And the reason they're asking, they're going to have two, they actually have two licenses. They have one already, a liquor license for the existing establishment. And first, unfortunately, there's a quirk in the law that they can't use a license next door to operate the restaurant next door, so they're going to have to pay the city two renewal fees every year for two licenses. At some point in the future, they hope to break through a wall, but right now it's not affordable or feasible. When they do, they will be able to give up the other license. So again, I ask if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Anyone else have any questions? Dave?
Licensed hours of operation and the two licenses and the proposed operating hours?
Same ones that we hold now, so it's until midnight. And typically we run during the week, as we've always have, during the week we're open until 10, 11 on a Friday, midnight on a Saturday. And we're not looking to change any of that.
Anyone else? Board?
I'm just wondering, in the future vision where you break down the wall between, or part of the wall between the two establishments, and you can dispose of one of the licenses, can you describe what the disposal options might be? Does that
Well, there's only two. One is just to give it back to the city for nothing, or just to sell it on the open market to another establishment. Keeping in mind, the Piccarello family paid a substantial sum of money for the premises, and the license came included. And it does have value. Not a lot of value, but it's all relative, of course, but it does have value. And the intention would be to sell it if and when that scenario arises. So that's the way you would dispose of it.
I'm just curious if there'd be any interest in potentially selling it out of the North End, if that's possible, because, you know, we are very dense. I mean, there's more liquor licenses per unit of population here than anywhere else.
Of course. If that opportunity comes up, we'll take advantage of it. But just keep in mind one thing, sir, that if the Piccarello family did not buy Piccolo Venezia, somebody else would be coming before you, and most likely they would seek your approval, and you'd give it to them to open up another establishment. So that license is going to stay for the time being in the North End. But if the opportunity arises to transfer it elsewhere, of course, and if per chance that somebody wants to use it in the North End, they'd come before you, and you may say yes or no.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Anyone else?
Just one question. What time in the morning do you open?
7 o'clock?
Thank you.
But they won't be serving liquor that early.
And
Only for a select few, by the way.
Yeah, what's the construction going on there from the building now?
They've got if you ever been in Piccolio Venezia, it's been there since 1993. They had an old English bar. Everything's been removed. The whole place has been gutted. And the concept, and I get the plans I'll be glad to show you, they're going to have display cases like you do in Modern. You're going to serve the patient, you're going to have sit-down tables, and you're going to have a kitchen.
But don't you have construction going outside the building now?
Oh, outside, they're redoing the brickwork.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be a beautiful looking building. You know, the brickwork is all going to be pointed, and the exterior of the building is, what else? And clean. So, in addition to, I'm hoping you'll be impressed by it when it's finally put together. It'll be a beautiful.
Why can't you break through the wall?
Because we just don't know structurally if it's feasible yet, and there's an expense involved. Right now, we need to get up on our feet because we have a hefty mortgage to pay. We're under the gun with the SBA, who lent a lot of money, so we got to get the place up and running. And then once it becomes feasible and affordable, then we'll do it. And then that's going to require a lot of construction, structural engineers, and so forth. It's just not a simple proposition, but it would be ideal because you would be combining the two spaces, and B, you'd be eliminating a license, and then you would eliminate the cost that goes along with it. Every year you got to spend $3,000 to renew a license, and but by quirk of the law, you need 2 licenses. Unfortunately, if we could, we'd like to operate on the one, but you just can't do it.
Okay. So you're not going to have beer and wine, just the cordials?
Mostly cordials, yeah.
Well, we do offer.
Yeah, we do, but that's not, it's a permittable, but it's not something that somebody coming in to have a cannoli or a cappuccino would be. But it's available, but we're not going to light the world on fire with beer and wine.
I believe, or I understood that you bought the building, not
Yes.
just the business.
Yes.
And do you own the building that Modern Pastry is
Yes.
in now? I've been raising the concern lately of my concern that there is a growing number of short-term rentals in the North End with the attendant loss of long-term housing. So long-term apartments, for instance, are being turned into either hotels or corporate rentals or any other types of short-term.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Or unofficial dormitories, student dormitories. What are the uses above the 2 bakeries, and what will they be?
They are and will be apartments, and some are very affordable. The people that have been in the North End most of their lives are paying, and I'd be ashamed to tell you what it is, but it's an amount of rent that you would think you were still in the 1970s. Above Piccolo Venezia, there are 3 apartments and 3, they call them lodging rooms because they don't have bathrooms, they share a bathroom. But essentially there are 6 fully rented apartments year to year, not short-term, year to year. And there's a, as you know, there's a high demand for responsible, non-student tenants, and that's what we, and the building next door, there are quite a few, and forgive me for saying this, elderly people and people that aren't that young. So they are truly North End residents. They've been there, some have been there for 40 years. So I hope that answers your question.
Okay, now, how's this gonna work? Is the retail store, the original store, still gonna be where you walk in and order things to take out with you?
In the new establishment?
Yeah, well,
Yes.
but
yeah.
both of them are set up.
The old establishment is going to stay the way it is.
Okay,
The new establishment is going to be almost identical, but on a larger scale, more modern. There's going to be new flooring, new ceilings. There's going to be exposed brick. It's going to have showcases, sit-down tables, and basically that's going to be the concept.
okay, so how many seats would you have in the old section and how many in the new section? Do you know?
Well, the old section, our license is 19 seats, and that's what we have now. And on the new section, our total licenses, we have 40 upstairs and 40 downstairs.
Oh, so there's 2 floors there?
Yes, yeah. There's a beautiful basement. I mean,
It's always been there.
Oh, the downs?
Oh, yeah,
downstairs.
that's existing.
And you're planning to use that too?
Yeah, on the weekends, if you're busy and people want to sit down and have coffee, you know, like I said, generate business.
Okay, we have a question here?
Are you gonna have wait service,
Wait service?
like waitress, waiter?
We do that with our staff now.
It'll be his father and mother. And it'll be self-service, a lot of self-service too.
No, we do that right now with, on the weekends when we're really busy, we tend to have two people serving the tables. It's just easier and it gets the line moving quicker.
Okay, anyone else? Does anybody want to speak for or against the proposal? David, should this be 2 votes or 1?
2 votes.
I think it's 2. Okay.
Which color first?
We'll use ballot 1, the red, to allow the zoning variance and another bakery put in next to the current.
I have a question. For zoning, do you also need takeout?
Takeout, yeah.
Additional takeout?
That's,
I think the bakery part of it would cover that. You see,
sure.
restaurant is sit-down,
Sure,
and
okay.
so bakery is
Yep.
takeout.
Yeah, got it.
So you're not going to be taking out anything but bakery goods that are currently baked. So therein lies the reason why we got to do this.
So if you favor the new bakery and the takeout license with the bakery, you should circle support, and if you don't, you should circle opposed. Red ballot.